Hello, hello. I'm just going to let a few more people in to the room. How's everyone doing? Oh, it's a little bit dark, isn't it? Oh, it's too bright now. There's no happy medium here today. Okay. Welcome to the last call of 2020. I'm sure we'll be happy to get this one behind us. Oh, what a heck of a year it's been. Okay, so I think I'm just gonna leave it at that. I mean, sometimes people join in, but I'll just keep an eye out. So I hope everyone is well. We are coming towards the end of the year now. It's the end of what has been probably a very long year. For a lot of us, with many, many ups and downs. Welcome, new people. We have Leah. I don't think I've seen you here before. We've got somebody else joining here. Oh, it's so nice to see so many people. So today, Hannah says roller coaster went super fast. Yeah, has indeed been a roller coaster. I can certainly relate to that. Okay, so more people have just joined. I think we're gonna start. So I hope you guys are well. It's kind of like, I'm not going to do anything too heavy today, but I came across this article in Elephant Journal. I don't know whether you guys read that or heard of that. It's elephantjournal.com. It's a lot of articles from various different people about mindset and life and just stuff, basically. And I came across this very interesting article about this woman who was 40 years old, and she wrote out herself 40 questions that she's going to ask herself regularly in 2021. So I read these questions and I thought they're quite good. So I can't take any credit for these questions, but I thought we could go through these questions today because it allows us to, I think a lot and reflect over where we are kind of at in terms of how we feel after this year, this really bizarre year. And I thought it'd be a good little exercise for us to do today, just to kind of round off the end of 2020 and say goodbye to this year. Okay, so I'm just gonna welcome everyone that hasn't been here before. Please welcome, feel at home. We've got a little Bubby there, look, little Brooklyn. Cool, I think we're gonna start. So, I had some interesting news today. There she is. Hello. Sorry, you're so distracted by babies here. So for those of you who know or don't know, I'm pregnant and I'm in month 6 now and I've not been able to find out the gender of the baby, but I found it out today and I'm having a little girl. So this will be my 3rd girl. 1 boy and 3 girls. My poor son is very, very much outnumbered now in the household. Yes, Susan says poor Theo. Poor Theo. The good news is that on an upside for him, he knows he will never have to share a room with anyone in his life ever because, you know, he's the only boy and the oldest and things. So, you know, that's a plus side for him. But 3 sisters, that poor kid. So anyway, it'll be nice. So the baby's due in April and we just found out that today, which was lovely. So I just thought that I'd share that bit of news. If anyone else has any news that they want to share, please feel free. Before we start going into these questions, and also if you have any, obviously this is the Q&A call as well, so if you've got anything you want to talk about businessy wise, any questions you want to ask, Sheila, thank you so much, that's so sweet. Hannah, woo, yeah. But to be honest with you, I mean, in comparison to like my boy and my girls were a lot easier than my boy. So, you know, there's swings and roundabouts here. I was happy if it was a boy because then it's nice to have 2 boys and 2 girls. But I'm also happy that it's a girl because I do find girls a lot easier to handle. Well, they are when they're young. I don't know about when they're older. My daughter's proving that theory right now at the moment. Anyway, so let's look at these questions. So this woman put together these questions to assess her level of success. Now, success is really interesting. Amanda says she only makes boys. Oh, wow. There's so, like, when they're little, I find boys so tough. Like, they're just complete and utter, like, uncontrollable, God knows what. But my son now, he's 13, he's absolutely adorable, and I love him to bits, and he loves me to bits. And I think girls are closer to their dads and boys tend to end up close to their mums. That's what I found anyway. I've only got one boy, but yeah, boys are fine. Girls, boys, as long as they're healthy and happy, that's all that matters. Okay, so this lady put together these questions to assess her level of success, and a lot of us have different ideas of what success is. A lot of people, when I say the word success or successful, they will associate it with how much money you have in the bank, or how many cars you drive, or what car you drive, or what house you own, or where is the location of the house you own, and things like that. To a lot of people, they define that as success. And I think that's because a lot of us are raised to believe that is what's successful. You know, the better job you can get, the more successful you are. The better house you can have, the more successful you are. The more material things that you have, the more holidays you take, you know, the more money you earn, that's what makes you successful. And I've never really been on board with that, only because I followed that path, you know, when I was very, very young, and everyone was like, go, you know, you've got to get a career, you've got to do this, that, and the other. And despite leaving school at 16, I felt even more pressure to work harder and to climb the ladder and to get more and to have more. So by the time I was 23, I'd like bought and sold about 5 houses. I was living in this big house with this gravel driveway, double garage, big mortgage. You know, and I was working all hours under the sun in this, you know, job in finance. And, you know, I was doing all the things that were supposed to make me happy. And I really wasn't happy. It wasn't until I dropped everything and just kind of moved away and moved out of that environment and moved into a little 2-bedroom flat in Luxor, and you know, took a job which gave me more flexibility, or, you know, started my business at that time. That's when I started to realize what happiness was and what success was. And I think that too many, oh, Megan says it's interesting. So we're just talking about that, but it is interesting. And I think this is a very good end of year topic, really, because then we can look back at what we did the last year and how we feel about it. And never feel like you have not been successful because you didn't grow your business enough, you didn't get enough clients, or you lost a client, or, you know, because it's really not about that. It's not how you measure success in my world anyway. But, you know, if you want to measure success by monetary funds in the bank account and things like that, that's fine too. Sorry, I'm just going to admit someone else into the room. Ashioma, that's an interesting name. Yeah, so I don't measure it by that. So this is why I thought these questions were really helpful, because it's more like measuring success in the terms of like how you personally feel about how your life is going, and, you know, how you can personally assess yourself. And if you are able to check in with yourself on these questions, I found it very helpful, because I thought to myself, maybe the reason why I'm not as happy in that area of my life or in that place is because I wasn't paying enough attention to that, and I was paying too much attention to the business, the work, the money, you know, that type of thing. And a lot of mentors, teachers, life coaches will always tell you and always share that by putting yourself first, your own feelings first, your needs, your wants, and that doesn't mean putting everyone and everything else on the back burner, but it's about really paying attention to how you're feeling, because that will impact your success in every area of your life, but it also will impact your family and everyone around you as well. So I'll stop talking now and get started with the questions. So the first question is there, and I think these are good questions to ask yourself. You probably might not be able to answer all of them off the bat, but they're good to reflect on if you are sitting there thinking about it and then thinking, well, why can't I answer this? Is it because of what reason? That type of thing. And I looked at these questions, and some things really sprang to mind immediately, like, oh God, yeah, that's definitely true to me. And other things I was like, I really had to think about it. Megan says, it's hard because finances can often impact the things that make you happy and find what you consider successful. You know what I mean? Of course. Not that the finances are a focus, but how the money impacts other things, for sure. All of us feel a lot more content, a lot more relaxed when we have ample funds in the bank. We've all been there. None of us have been completely desolate and poor our entire lives. We've all had moments where we've had a bit more money in the bank than others, and we've not been worried or concerned about certain things that always have us worried or concerned, about. So I totally get that. But I think the state of mind just generally impacts often the bank balance or the amount of money that we have. If we're in a state of mind of constant lack, of constant feeling like we're struggling, everything is difficult, that type of thing, then we kind of self-talk ourselves into being in a situation where we're just finding the money just going out more and more. And I remember that myself. It was never about how much money. When I was in this frame of mind where I wasn't quite realizing at the time that I was creating my own reality around money and finances, I would be in this constant state of just making enough money, no matter how much money that had to be, whether it was 10,000 a month, 20,000 a month, 30,000 a month. It would always only ever be just enough, because if I had enough money to say I covered my bills and I covered my business expenses and I covered all that, and then I made an extra $5,000 that month, then for sure a bill would come in, something would happen, the car would break. It could be any number of things that would cause me to have to spend that $5,000, and then I'm back again, like in that same situation where I'm repeating this cycle. You feel like you're making a little bit more money, and then you're back in the cycle of you're having to spend it out on something that's just one of those random things in life that come up. When I was just making enough money and I was in my income and expenditure was like always right on the line, and I wasn't making any more, then it was always right. I was in the same situation no matter how much money I made, until I realized that the cycle had to break somehow. And it's really surprising, because I was in a situation where for sure I did worry about money. When I got pregnant with my first child, I was just starting my business, and this business has been the only thing that's brought income into our household. So like when I got pregnant, my partner was the one that was taking care of the child, and I was the one that was working. So for me, I felt a huge amount of pressure and a huge amount of worry and like, am I going to make it? Am I capable of doing this? A lot of questioning myself around it. And then I had baby number 1, and then 6 months later I was pregnant with baby number 2, and then it was that another cycle, like it's another mouth to feed, it's another bunch of nappies that we have to pay for and things like that. And you constantly wonder, where is this money going to come from? Particularly if you're always living just within your means, then you feel like there is no additional money after this. But for some reason or somehow, we always seem to make it work. And we do that whether we worry about it or whether we don't worry about it. And you have to realize this. It's like we feel like we've got more of a chance of being more successful the more we worry, which is a really odd place to be, I have to say, because it kind of is very counteractive or counterproductive. And then we make it through the month, you know, we make it to the end of the month financially or whatever, and we know all we've done is really worry about it all month, and then we think, well, maybe that's what helped us make it, you know, maybe that's why we actually got through this phase and we're through the end of the month and we've made enough money because we worried about it. No, I swear to God, the money will come either way, whether you worry about it or you don't worry about it. So really the best thing to do is not to worry about it. And I didn't want this to be a conversation about worrying about money or not worrying about money, but either way, it's there has to be, and I always had this confidence, no matter what. For sure I would worry, for sure I would, you know, but in the back of my mind, there was always that affirmation that it'll come from somewhere, or there'll always be enough, or it's going to come either way, you know. I would tell myself not to worry, but I would still worry. And it always did, it always came. And then I got to the point where I realized this is so ridiculous. And I just decided, I made a conscious decision to not worry about it, because I knew it's coming to the conclusion in the end that whether I choose to worry about it or not worry about it, the outcome is the same. The worry does not change anything about the outcome. So I would rather invest, or it would be a smart decision to invest all that time and energy I spent around worrying, to put that into stop worrying and start investing that time and energy into doing something proactive with the business. You know, it's like I could sit there and exhaust myself sometimes, not because of the kids or because of how many hours I had a day or how many clients I was serving at that time or anything. I could exhaust myself through the pure act of worry. Mentally, I would be worn out from it. And when you get to the point where you're realizing you're actually wasting your own time, a lot of people have issues with time management. And I think, and we were talking a little bit about this on the SSS call yesterday. We started the Successful Services Coaching Program yesterday, and a big part of that is going to be time management that I'm going to be discussing. And we talked about somebody making a diary of how they spend their time. And it's surprising the amount how people realize that the actual tasks that they're doing throughout the day are taking up not so much time, but the worry that is in between all those tasks is what takes up a lot of time. So you'll find that you could claim back 1, 2, 3, 4 hours in a day just simply by choosing not to put your energy into constantly worrying. Just give me a minute, because I think we've got someone who's not on mute. I don't think that's me. Maybe I can hear myself in the background or not. No. One sec. I don't want to mute, is it? Okay, I don't know. So yeah, it's really about making a conscious effort. It's about really catching yourself saying, what am I doing right now? Oh, I'm worrying. So how is this? And a lot of people feel that their worry somehow is serving them, like it serves a purpose in their life. Like I said, you know, sometimes I would associate the amount I worried about money with the act of actually getting it at the end of the month and feeling that relief and realizing all my bills were paid and things like that. And then I kind of got into this cycle, this pattern, that feeling like the worry was serving me, it was doing me a favor in some way, because I always met my goals at the end. But then I chose just to do an experiment and stop worrying, like literally just taking that burden off my shoulders, knowing that whatever was in my bank account right that second, the next second it'll still be there whether I worried about it or not, or it still wouldn't be there whether I worried about it or not. And then I realized at that time, you know, if I could just let myself go a little bit, you know, free myself from that pressure of feeling like I had to constantly be doing something. And, you know, because the constantly doing something was honestly worrying, like, what should I be doing? What can I be doing? And then that just like blocked all my creativity. And when you're an entrepreneur or a business owner, no matter what you're doing, whether you're doing spreadsheets all day, or, you know, doing something a bit more creative like graphic design, you still need that creativity in order to be able to run your business. You don't necessarily need it in the sense of being able to be good at drawing or have a good eye for art or something like that, or graphic design. You need creativity, and you need to free that place in your mind, that energy in your mind, to be able to have those ideas, to let them in, like, oh, I know, I remember this guy who, like, from last week, and I'll contact that person, and I remember him, and, you know, that person, you know, and it's just like coming up with these ideas. Ideas is creativity, and you absolutely need ideas in order to grow a business. So, and make income. You know, it's not just constantly about what am I doing, what am I doing, what are the tasks involved. And if you're just going to sit there, and let's say, for example, your energy is so low and you just want to sit there and do nothing, instead of sit there and then have all these thoughts creep in your mind about what you should be doing, you know, like feeling guilty, like I'm sitting here doing nothing, drinking a cup of tea because and I should be, you know, I've got no money in my bank and I should be doing this, and I should be you got to let it go and just think to yourself, okay, well, you know, I'm going to sit here, I'm going to have a cup of tea, and I'm going to invite some ideas in. I'm going to invite, what can I potentially do right now? You've got to turn your thoughts around, not about, oh, there's no money in the bank and I've got this bill next week and I've got this thing I've got to do. You can't do that to yourself. It's really a shit poor way of becoming successful. I'm not saying that you can't make money that way, but it's really a very unproductive way. Anyway, it's like F it and then it's okay. Even people who try, sorry, I'm reading the comments, even people who try and try to get pregnant, they worry they can't get pregnant, and then they say the heck with it. If it happens, and then it does. I've heard loads of stories like that. Yes. And I know, Megan, that you were one of them, you know, because I know that you were trying for ages to get Revel, and then it was just like, well, if it's going to happen, it happened. And then it happened. And then Brooklyn came like that. And you were like, oh my God, like this one, just, where did that come from? And it was, you know, it was the same for me. You know, I was told by 4 doctors, you're infertile. I hadn't had a period for like 2 years. It's, you know, and in the end, like, I'm going to doctors, and I wasn't so much concerned about children at that age, because I was only like 20, 24, 25 years old. But for me, I just kind of wanted to figure out what was going on in the body. And then when 4 people tell you you won't be able to have children, maybe you can do something like get a donor egg or something, and, you know, like, and I'm like, no, I don't want anyone's egg, and I'll just leave it. Like, I'm young and I'll focus on my career. And then lo and behold, like, literally out of nowhere, unplanned and not even in a relationship, I get pregnant. So life has its way of surprising you when you least expect it. I had a private message. I lost my at-home daycare due to COVID-19, then took a course to become a virtual real estate transaction coordinator, and until now I don't have any client, which means I haven't earned since March 2020. Please, how can I market myself to get clients? Okay, so I'll answer this question, and then we'll go into the success questions. So a lot of people are like this, like, how do I market myself to get clients? What do I do to get clients? And really, it's not rocket science. To me, it's all pretty much a numbers game when it comes to getting clients. And it's all about getting your techniques down and having those techniques and really working on them and devoting yourself to that space of acquiring a client. Now, first of all, I think you have to remove yourself from the idea that you're getting clients. Like, I've got to get clients, I've got to get clients. No, I want you to shift into the mindset of, who can I help today? I want to help as many people as I possibly can today. And where am I going to find them? Where am I going to find people to help? This is the first thing. Don't pressure yourself with, where am I going to get clients? Go think to yourself, where I'm going to find people to help. So am I going to go in my Facebook groups? Am I going to go in my LinkedIn groups? Am I going to check out Twitter? You know, people asking questions. Am I going to go on Quora? If you haven't got my Getting Client Guide, it's completely free, and I give you some techniques of places where you can go and things you can do to help sort of get you clients. But the primary focus to start with, especially a lot of the times when we try to get clients and it's not working and it's not happening, it's almost like we're putting too much pressure on ourselves to make every interaction about getting the client. And then we feel like we're pushing, we're selling, it's like it feels icky. But when you put it in the sense of like, who am I going to help? What am I going to do today? It's like, I'm going to go on a Facebook group. Someone's asked a question. I know the answer. I'm just going to reply and tell them the answer. And I'm going to offer them and say, look, if you need any more help with this, just let me know. So many times I've done that, particularly on like when Twitter was really popular. I mean, it's really popular now, but when it first came out, and, I was like one of the first people on Twitter, I was like, oh my God, this is amazing, because people are asking questions and I can just reply, and it's quick. And then I would get direct messages and people saying to me, oh, like, what do you do? And how did you know that? And where did you find that? And then it starts a dialogue. And what you're doing is you're drawing people into you. You're not pulling people in. You're naturally attracting people to you, because they are asking for more. They are asking for your help. They're asking for your advice. You are not going out there and saying, look at me, I'm here, this is what I offer, buy my stuff, that type of thing. So, and also it's not always necessarily the individual that is posting the comment that will see it. Sometimes it's other people commenting. They will see your comment and then they'll reach out to you, or someone will say, oh, I've just PM'd you, or it could be anything. So definitely I would say make it more fun. Take the pressure off of the whole marketing for leads thing. Make it more fun and see it more of a friend building activity, networking activity, community building activity, and see and where you can start there. That's the best start I can give you. Obviously, there are many other things relating to that, depending on what packages you offer, what services you offer, how you put those together, what types of clients you're going for. There are other things where we can drill down even further and say, right, well, if we're going to go for this, then do this, but then do this and this and this. So it's like everything has a follow-on step. But just to start getting leads, connections, create awareness, start building more people around you that know about what you're doing and making a name for yourself, is definitely to think about, like, how can I help people today? Whether you dedicate an hour to that a day or more, it's entirely up to you, whatever you have time for. But the more you interact, the more you expose yourself to other people in that right area, because people are asking questions that you can respond to. Sometimes, people have crazy questions about spreadsheets. People have questions about translations, transcriptions, anything, building a business. This is how so many people are able to get clients. The people that are doing really, really well right now are the people that are putting themselves out there and just helping, answering things, that type of stuff. Those questions are going up on those QS are going up on my blackboard in huge letters. Questions. Oh yeah, I thought it was question. Yeah, definitely do it. It's really, really important. So that's where you start, okay? And that's a very good start for you. Like I say, there are many other things that you can do from there, but they're very much tailored to you. And then also the techniques that you use after that point. So this is all about lead generation and making connections. And then you kind of got to take it from there yourself. But knowing the right way to then take the lead and approach it, and then say, right, okay, well, this lead came from this, and they're responding to my comment that I made here, and this is what they're asking for. Again, it's just starting that dialogue. And then I would say 9 times out of 10, if you are really hungry for clients, just try and get people on a 20-minute call with you, or half an hour call. Just like try and say, look, it's so much easier if I explain this on a call. Do you want to just jump on a call with me? Here's my calendar link. Feel free to go for it. If someone loves you enough to book a 20-minute call with you, that's like really most of the battle done at that point. From there, you can then start to talk more about the solution to their problem, and then from there you go on to then securing the client, securing the business. So again, just a few tips, but that's where you need to start from, without a doubt. And you can do that so quickly. And most of the time, a lot of us, you know, if you're not, then fine. But I mean, if we all admit it, probably not you, Susan, because you're a bit anti-social media, but we are on social media a lot. You know, we're watching funny cat videos and things. I do it. And imagine if we were just literally browsing groups to answer people's questions, and it could be on anything. It could be even things like, a lot of people say to me, well, you know, how do I attract the right types of clients and the right characters of clients for me? And a lot of that time, especially if you're a generalist VA or something like that, you have a lot of skill sets, there's a lot of different things that you could do within a business. I say just hang out in groups where people are talking about things that you really love. So if you're a vegan, hang out in vegan groups, because people in those vegan groups, yeah, they're talking a lot about food, but they also go back to that community because they trust that community and they love that community, and they will ask about other things and other areas in their life. So if you just happen to be in a vegan recipes group and someone says, oh, I've just created all these vegan recipes and I don't know how to get them online, does anyone have any ideas? It happens. Don't think it doesn't. So don't think that you have to constantly be in the business groups. And, you know, LinkedIn is very much like that. So do hang out on LinkedIn if you want to just talk business. But a lot of your hobbies, a lot of the things that you would do, or the groups that you would be in, regardless of whether you had time to be in them or not, can also double up, and you can multitask and talk about something you enjoy, but also be there hanging out for potential clients, if any are around. So doesn't just have to be like, oh, what business group shall I join? It can be your interests, your hobbies, anything like that. Clients can come from the most unlikely places, and the ones that are going to be easiest to secure are the ones where you have a common interest. So if you have a common interest, so for example, Hannah, it wouldn't surprise me if your type of ideal client would be somebody in the dog area, dog trainers, you know, anything relating to that. A lot of people are doing online dog training now because they can't go out and see their customers. So imagine if you were in all these dog groups just talking about your dogs, what you've been doing. Someone's going to pay attention to that. Sorry for anyone who doesn't know, but Hannah really loves dogs and she just rescues loads of dogs. So if you were in a group where they were talking about dog training and things like that, a lot of the people there are in the business of dogs. And wouldn't you be perfectly placed, because you don't only love their topic, their subject, but you can also help them potentially with their business as well. So, and always the easiest thing to do to approach any potential client is find a common ground first of all. So you're not going straight in with, I'm a VA and this is my staff. You can go in and just say, hey, I noticed we're on the same interest group. I noticed that you've been doing this. I also have this situation, that type of thing. Hannah's in an online dog training group. So cool. So where are the online dog trainers? Where are the people that need to start shifting things online? I mean, you can do various things in that area. Start to think. And this is what we'll be doing, by the way, on the Seriously Successful Services coaching program. We're going to be looking at the things you love and the things you enjoy. And then we're going to be looking at the people that make money in that area. And then we're going to be looking at how you can marry up your skills with what you enjoy, and then the people that make the money, and then it's just all a big wonderful massive greatness. So yeah, there is another question. How do I get your guide? Okay, it's free, it's on the website. I'll just send you the link right here. I will get to the questions, guys, just one sec. Okay, so here is the link to the Getting Clients guide for anybody who wants it. Okay. Amanda currently has a French bulldog puppy asleep on you. Oh, I also have acquired a puppy. I don't know if I told you. I think I did. But I think last month I acquired a puppy. Because sadly I lost my dog earlier this year. And then my kids were begging me for another puppy, so I've got another puppy. It's currently outside because it's a maniac. I had to just let it cool off somewhere. Yes, my puppy is definitely not as mellow as that dog right now. Where'd you get the mellow dogs? That's what I want to know. Hannah doesn't know either, I know. Okay, right. So I hope that was helpful. And again, you know, it's like anything. I think as long as we can take the pressure off us so much of feeling like I've got to sell myself and I don't like sales, I've got to market myself, I don't like marketing, you know, find other ways around it, find other ways around your mindset. And like I say, make it fun. So if you were going to be in groups anyway, because you enjoy them, see them as where are the potential business opportunities here as well. We don't have to compartmentalize our life into personal stuff and business stuff. We can blend the two, mix the two, and oftentimes that works out for a more successful business that way. You know, all it takes is one dog trainer to say, hey, Hannah, help me out with some stuff I was doing. She was able to help me get some training sessions online, and I was able to get another client that way. Oh, I didn't lose my clients because of it. And she helped me set up my video calls so I can, you know, check in with my customers. Oh, and then I'm telling so-and-so down the road about it because they're also having the same issues, that type of thing. So don't put yourself under so much pressure, make it fun, and just really, really think about how you're going to talk to people and communicate with people, but not in a I'm selling something way, but just in a how can I help you way. It makes a really, really huge difference. And then, like I say, you draw and you attract people to you. You're not going after them. And the mindset of you and the mindset of them is very different, because we have this barrier up. If someone's trying to pitch something to us or sell something to us, it's just kind of like, no, I don't want it. I'm not interested. I'm, you know, go away. And then the next time, if you're just like saying, well, actually, like, I know a way you can do that. I've got a great tip. I know how to figure that out. You know, you do this and this. If you're interested, I'm happy to jump on a 20-minute call with you to explain it further. And that 20 minutes could result into a client that pays you hundreds of pounds a month. So it's a really good investment. More even so than just cold marketing and contacting people on email and stuff like that. So I always tell people, you know, even in my client guide, you'll see it, I always tell people, find a common ground, make sure that that person knows that you have looked at their website, you know, in terms of business, looked at their website, looked at their social media, read their blog post, done something, so you can actually say something to them where they're going to relate and say, actually, she must have looked at my stuff, because you know, and so many people don't look at other people's stuff. They just go at them. Like, you're a business name, you're a company. Hi, sir. You know, this is what I offer. This is what I do. Buy my stuff. And like, nobody pays any attention. But if you contact someone and say, hey, I just read a great blog post on your site about how to train this, like, do this with my dog. And I tried it with my dog and it worked so well. I was so impressed. I also noticed that you do this and this, and I help people in this area as well. So if you need any help, let me know, or, you know, anything like that. Just see how it goes for you. Okay, so we'll move on because we've still got 20 minutes and I've got to get through these questions. So these questions, for those of you who have just joined us in the room, these questions are things to assess your level of success, and they are all personal questions, like we talked about, things that you can think about, reflect on at the end of 2020 to help, I think, give you a good start to 2021 and see what you need to work on in a personal sense. But some of them are also linked to business as well, because I always believe that everything's connected. Like I say, we don't segment our lives. A lot of people do, I guess, into work and home life and things like that, but I don't. To me, it's all one and the same. Hence, you know, like why sometimes you'll see me on calls and my kids will be running around, or my animals will be here, like this one. I have more than one animal. I've got many animals. Okay, so first question, if you want to write these down, fine. If you don't, there is a replay. And in fact, I think I might be able to put them all in the chat for you, but I want you to be able to focus. So I might put them in the chat at the end if you want to copy and paste. Actually, I might put them in with the replay. So if you're in my essential resources area, I'll put the replay of the video in, and I will put all the questions underneath the replay of the video. So go to the essential resources replay, and you'll be able to get all the questions there at the end. So the first question is there anything I'm truly grateful for? So gratitude is like one of the biggest things that we can do to enhance our lives and make it better and more successful. And I try to think every day of things that I am grateful for. And a lot of people say, well, you know, like, oh, what do I think I'm grateful for? And they say the same things over and over again. Like, I'm grateful that I got my health. I've not got COVID-19. I'm grateful that my family are all okay. I'm grateful for my kids. I'm grateful I've got food on the table, things like that. These are very all obvious gratefuls. And I find that with gratitude, that if we're focusing too much on the obvious gratefuls, it feels like there are very few to be grateful for. I don't know if I explain that right, but it's not saying like you're undervaluing your gratefulness by my kids and, you know, I'm happy, I'm healthy and things like that, but they're all big things and they all tend to be very samey. I'm talking about focusing on, you know, is there anything I'm truly grateful for? Like the little things, like, somebody smiled at me and talked to me in the supermarket today, or a stranger came up to me, you know, like these little things. That moment where your puppy asks to go outside to the toilet and doesn't pee on the floor inside, that's a moment I'm very grateful for. I have many of these grateful moments, particularly around my kids, my animals, and, you know, anything like that, interactions with other human beings. You know, it's oftentimes we don't stay in the moment and feel that gratitude, like feel those wins. And to be honest with you, like, I don't know how this turned into such an animal discussion, but like, you know, for example, when I first got my puppy, I would focus more on the 10 times he peed inside instead of the 1 time he peed outside. And I decided to focus more and be grateful for that 1 time he peed outside, just forget the times he peed on the inside. So I'm a lot more grateful for my puppy that way. Oh, Amanda says she seconds that. So is there anything that I'm truly grateful for? And like I say, once you go through all the list of the obvious gratefuls, start to really think about the details of grateful. Think about your day. Think about the things that happened. Like today I found out I was having a baby girl. It's quite a big grateful, but you know, I feel grateful for that. You know, many different things. I'm going out for dinner like tonight after this call to see friends, and we're going to have a nice evening. And, you know, it's like, I feel grateful for that. I feel grateful that I have friends who want to invite me over. So I talk like nobody's business as well. So we're very lucky that people will listen to me all evening. So those are things to be grateful for. The next question is, did I say no to the wrong people at the right time? And I think, again, this is a big one. Loads of people do not know how to say no. And then they end up with more stress in their lives, more frustration. You know, it's that boundary that you need within yourself. And it's not about just saying no. It's saying no to the wrong people at the right time, knowing that you're saying no for yourself. You're saying no because you know it's the right thing for you. Okay, despite the fact who it is. It could be somebody like, oh, can you do this to me? Can you do this? Can you go here? Can you run? You know, and then you just say, you know, and I know a lot of people get this with clients, you know, when I'm coaching people, one of the big things that people come up with or say to me is that, like, I just feel like my clients are running everything, and I want to help them and I want to do these things for them, you know, but then I do this for my client and then I miss putting my kid to bed. Or I do this and then I do it. And you want to do it for the client, but you know, you also then feel such guilt because you missed something in your own life, or you feel so tired and lacking energy that the job isn't enjoyable anymore because you found that you've compromised yourself in some way to be able to do it. That's not healthy. That's not a healthy yes. I love yes people. I love people who say yes to things, but you've got to understand when there's the right time to say no. The right time for you, not for everybody else. So the next time someone says to you, oh, can you do this? And you know that it's going to be a time crunch, you're under a lot of pressure, you've got a million other things to do that you've already committed to, you know, don't be the one that goes, yeah, sure, you know, no problem, I'll do it. No, you have to say no. And you don't always have to say like, no, you can say, no, I don't have time today, but I could definitely do it on Saturday for you, or I could do it next week. And I had to learn that a lot with my clients in order to be able to run my business effectively and not make mistakes. Next question, did I do something fun and creative? So I think a lot of the time as well, we tend to skip the fun part of life because we've got so many other things that we have to do first before we have fun. So then fun ends up on the last thing on the list. But do something fun and creative, even if it's something small, even if it's something like, if you like cooking a new recipe, that type of thing. So for me, that's a really important part of the day. Did I eat healthy food, more vegetables, more fruits, and did I move my body? Again, this is something I used to be so guilty of. I would absolutely put myself last. Any exercise program would be last. Cooking healthy meals would be last because I would want to do something quick just to get it through and get it finished and get it over with. And then suddenly I started to devote more time to healthier eating and getting more exercise and things like that. And I became a person for it. So did you eat some healthy food? And did you move your body? Next question is, did I set the right boundaries? Again, this is a really good one with, especially in terms of clients, but also, you know, in terms of friends, family, obligations, that type of thing. Sometimes when we're constantly saying yes to things, a lot of the time, we sometimes think, oh, you know, that client is so rude because it's 7 o'clock at night and they're messaging me at 7 o'clock at night, you know, and like, what do I do with that? How do I do that? It's not your client's fault. The reason they're messaging you at 7 o'clock at night is because most of the time you respond at 7 o'clock at night. And you say, yeah, sure, I'm happy to help with that, no problem. You know, because it's like what we're programmed to do and what we're trained to do. So it's not about, oh, the client's rude and how could they do that? And then 9 o'clock at night, you know, he's messaging me and things like that. No, it's because you respond and you're happy about it. You know, you sound happy about it. When you set boundaries, you know, okay, so you might instead want to respond at 7, 9 o'clock at night saying, hey, no problem. I'll get back to you in the morning, or I'll get back to you tomorrow at some point, or something like that. If you don't want to be completely rude and ignore the message, that is a boundary. That is the boundary that you're putting in place that says, I'm not going to answer you right now. I have more important things to do, and I will answer you. You know, it's like managing expectations as well. So did I set the right boundaries, whether that be with family, clients, and even for yourself? Did you set the right boundaries for yourself? Because oftentimes we are the ones that push ourselves further than anybody else. So it's not just about setting the boundaries for clients, but it's about saying, well, what is best for me in this situation? Did I laugh? Did I crack silly jokes? Did I try to make someone laugh? So I go through like real stages. Like, I'm not like somebody who just like laughs at anything, but when I do laugh, I like absolutely cannot stop myself, like wheezing. Like, I was doing it just before I was on this call. Actually, it's like one thing just triggers me, and then I laugh and I don't know how to stop. But that's interesting. Did you crack silly? Did you have a sense of humor? Have you got a sense of humor? It's a really good question. Did I cry and did I let myself feel? Again, this is another huge one. I have so many people in my circles. I'm a little bit type A, and also because I'm a business owner and entrepreneur and things like that. Even though I'm a mom, I tend to sort of attract friends who are also quite, I guess, not too soft and like, oh, we can do anything, you know, like we're powerful women and things like that. You know, we run households and we've got businesses and things like that. And I always felt like crying or showing emotion was like a weakness. Like, no, you don't do that. Like, we got to put our sleeves up, and no matter what we're feeling, we just push that aside and we get on with it. I still like that attitude, but I also honestly realize the benefits of just, if you're feeling upset, if you're feeling sad, not just saying, yeah, I'm fine, because I'm clearly not. It's not a good idea to do that. So find someone you trust. a friend, a family member, someone you love, and just reach out to them and talk to them. If you want to have a good cry, do it. If you want to do it on your own, do it. But allow yourself to feel, and don't feel guilty for feeling sad or upset about something. Your feelings are valid and they matter, no matter what role you have in a household. Next question. Did I post something mindful and helpful? Again, this goes back a little bit to what we were talking about with the clients and things. That would be a good exercise on a daily basis to post something mindful and helpful, but use it as a business technique. Use it as a way to grow your business. Obviously, you can do it with friends and family and things like that, but mindful and helpful is a really important part of success. You know, I feel that success comes from what we put into it. And I do not mean the number of hours that we sit there at a desk. I mean what we put into it with our hearts, with our minds, with our souls, with our being, in terms of wanting to help the world grow around us. And that will in turn help us grow. This is an interesting one. Did I save water and power? It's an interesting one because it's not something I particularly think about, only when maybe the bill comes in at the end of the month and I'm like, oh my God, did I really use that much electricity? But yeah, so did I save water and power? And I think that's important because that's also linked to the environment, or part of the environment. Did I do or buy anything eco-friendly? Again, that's part of the environment. I tend to use a lot less plastic these days, just sharing that. It's a sort of an unconscious decision, but I tend to buy things that aren't plastic. The only thing I've really drawn a line at is the paper straws. I cannot stand the paper straws. They are horrendous. So I still do the plastic straws, although I am trying to find metal ones right now, which are quite hard here in Egypt. Did I help another soul in any way? That's a really interesting one. To me, that's like, I mean, everyone has a soul, everyone is worth helping, but I think the way I interpret this is, did I help another soul in terms of, did I just selflessly reach out to someone who needed help and just gave myself to them without any idea or thought of getting anything back? I think that particularly as parents, we do that on a daily basis. I know Josiah is somebody who does that, bless him, who's a stay-at-home dad. And a lot of us are stay-at-home mums. And I think we do that, you know, we take care of our own because we love them, you know, but that doesn't have to just be amongst your children or your parents or your grandchildren. It can extend out into anyone. And it makes such a huge difference in somebody's life when a complete stranger or someone they know who maybe is not around so much, or is not obligated to take care of them or look after them, just shows them a bit of compassion, says, look, I see you, are you okay, I care about you, that type of thing. Leah says glass straws are pretty cool if you can get them, of course. Maybe not the best for kids, though I find they're very strong. I've never heard of glass straws. I've never seen them, but I do live in the back beyond. But thanks, I'll check them out. I'll see if I can find them somewhere on like mail order. Did I write, express myself and voice my concerns? Again, this is like another one, like where your feelings matter, what you have to say matters, you know. And I think a lot of the time we don't express ourselves because we're concerned about arguments or disagreements or disputes or something like that. And I am somebody who completely avoids that on social media. Like, you know, when someone leaves a comment, I have one friend who cannot help herself. She's so open, like whatever, she just like brain dumps everything that comes out in her mind without thinking, and it can upset people, it can hurt people, that type of thing. I find that personally very uncomfortable, but I definitely would never be concerned about voicing something that was my opinion or something that's important to me, but still saying that other people's opinions were valid. So that's something I try to do. And like I say, the question is, did I write and express myself and voice my concerns? And I do write down every day how I'm feeling in a journal. And I've done that for quite a long time. Sometimes I skip days, like for example, I didn't do it over Christmas, you know, just because I was doing other things. But as part of my process, I do write down how I'm feeling, and I do ask the universe or God or whatever you want to call it for help and support in certain areas of my life, questions I have, that type of thing. And I find that very therapeutic. Did I truly forgive others, including myself? That's a huge one, especially when we're all living with guilt factors and things like that. I know someone here in this room who's probably recently been through that, in terms of feeling like they could have done something to help and they didn't, and now they're sort of carrying that burden and that guilt with them. And you really do have to let that go. You just because you can help, just because you could do it, it doesn't mean to say that that's the best thing to do for you or anyone else. So you help where you can, when you can, but you don't put yourself or anybody else important to you around you in jeopardy to do that. I mean, I think that's really, really important. Just help where you can, but don't put yourself in situations which were going to cause you more stress and more concern and more worry and things like that. And if you do that and you do feel guilty, learning how to forgive yourself, you know, like is a really, really big thing, and saying, I know I could have done more, but it's okay that I didn't, and that I forgive myself for that. And it's the only way you're going to be able to move on, because if you don't, then you're just going to carry all this clutter around in your head, and it's just going to get worse and worse. And forgiving other people, I did a big forgiveness thing this year, actually, myself, and I'm glad I did, because my relationship with that person is a lot better now. Did I watch a good movie, documentary, video, or anything useful? I like the way it adds anything useful on the end of it, because I've watched a lot of really useless videos, a lot of really useless TV crap since Corona. It's been my window to the outside world, to be honest, but I think that's also very cool. For documentaries, I used to be a member of a home TV, and then there's another service now called Gaia. They have a lot of self-development documentaries and things like that. I like to go and browse those, or TED Talks on YouTube. Not the weird ones. There was like, oh my god, there was like this thing on social, and this is like why, like, I find social media, you've really got to filter it and sift it. But you know, like, they have TED Talks on really weird subjects that you're just like, that's so wrong, and then they have other really good ones. So sift through what you're watching. Did I pray and meditate? So important. Meditating, prayer, whatever you want to call it, talking to yourself or something outside of yourself, really so important. 5 minutes a day, do it, you'll be better for it. Did I save money, and did I shop mindfully? This is something that I've really practiced, particularly in COVID, because the first month I lost 2 of my biggest clients in COVID. Like, you know, a lot of people lost their clients and things like that. So 2 of my biggest clients I lost in the first month. And then I was really thinking about my budget and what I could do and what I was purchasing, and did I really need it, and did I really want it, and things like that. And I've been able to really reduce my expenses so much this year, just by cutting out things that I wasn't really using, I didn't really need, you know, I mean, the things that I really wanted to buy, I did still buy. The things that, but I had to put a lot of thought into it. Like, am I going to just adore this and love it and really, really use it? And so it was a big thing for me. And again, a lot of people who are struggling with finances and COVID and things can really take a good look at their budget and think, well, what could I potentially do here? You know, and then that also led to a lot of manifestation, which was weird, because, you know, a lot of people are like, oh, don't think about reducing costs, because it shows a lack mentality and a lack mindset. But I didn't think about reducing costs as such. I thought to myself, what would be a better situation or a more ideal situation? And yesterday I got my rent reduced, which was awesome. You know, my contract was coming up for renewal and I was supposed to pay another 10% on my rent, and I just, you know, took a stab at it and I got my rent reduced. So I'm paying less than I was last year, and I'm still going to be paying less in a year's time when my rent contract renews. So for me, that's just a bonus, you know. So I was looking at a lot of different areas where I could manifest money this year, but it doesn't necessarily have to be income. You know, it could be other areas where you can potentially save money or, you know, shave money off, and then that's essentially still money in the pot. Did I connect with the people I love? That's an interesting one, and I completely skipped over that one. That was earlier, but it's just come up now. Did I connect with the people I love? Very difficult during COVID, I must say, but Zoom has been a lifesaver, I think, for a lot of people, and those who never heard about Zoom before all know about Zoom. And Zoom must be right now like one of the most successful businesses in 2020. Go Zoom. But did I connect with people I love? Just reaching out, saying hi, sending a message. I think that's really therapeutic. Christmas morning, I woke up and my ex and I were separated, and we've got 3 kids together, and then this child, I'm with a new partner and we're having this child together. And my kids, I had my kids last Christmas, and the kids this Christmas were at their dad's on Christmas Eve. So I woke up this morning and I was like, oh, it's an empty house. I went downstairs and made a coffee, and I went upstairs and I sat in my bed on Christmas morning, and I thought to myself, I'm going to reach out to all the people that I know I should have reached out to before now, and I've just kind of like been busy. I'll do that next week, or I'll find time, you know. And I just sat there like sobbing. I'm fully open book here right now. Just sat there sobbing on Christmas morning, like writing these just really heartfelt messages to people, telling them like how much they meant to me in my life and how grateful I am for them. And it was just like crazy. So did I connect with the people I love? I did. It was just a little bit overdue. Okay, we've got a couple more questions. I know I'm over, but I want to get through these. Did I connect to nature, and did I water my plants? One time my partner did go away and then the whole entire garden died, and I feel terrible about that. I did not water my plants. But I will endeavor to do that in 2021. Did I take a nice photo, cloud, sunset, or personal favorites? And again, I have been mindful about this year. Anytime I see something nice, I'll take a video of it, and I'll take a picture of it. And sometimes it'll be with my kids, sometimes it'll be just walking the dog, you know, and I always take photos. Now I've got a whole bunch of photos that I have to organize, which is another problem in itself, but I've done a lot more photo taking. Did I keep my area tidy and clean to some extent? This is so important. A clutter-free, clean, tidy environment is a must. Rolling your eyes, Hannah, I know. It's so important. Really put that as a priority on your list. It makes you feel so much better. And also the satisfaction that you get when you can clear stuff out and get rid of it, and just kind of like look at the cleanness and the emptiness afterwards. It feels like you've got room to let new exciting things into your life in the end of it. So if you're feeling a little bit down at any point, a little bit low, you know, a little bit like, oh, I don't know what to do, go and declutter something, whether it be your wardrobe or whether it be an entire room or an entire house or the garage or whatever. Just do that. It makes you feel a whole lot better. Nina says, I watched a couple of relatable TED Talks recently and it was huge on my mindset, inspiring. That's cool, Nina. Hannah says, I'm using Whereby for family video calls as simpler than Zoom. Okay, and Hannah loves clutter too. That's cool. So I've not heard of Whereby, but thank you for sharing that with us. Next one, we're down to the last few now. Did I sleep? And most importantly, did I sleep peaceably? I've recently started putting an app on my phone. It's like the sleep health app, or it's part of the health app, where it kind of like turns my phone dead, like it puts it on like do not disturb and everything at a certain time of night, and it won't beep or vibrate throughout the whole night. And I've had really some of the best sleep since I did that. My phone was a horrible interference to my sleep, you know, because, you know, I do have friends and family all over the world. We're in different time zones and stuff like that. And I tend to be one of these people that has my phone everywhere with me, including next to my bed at night. So when I did that with my app, then I felt much better. And the more sleep you get, not like in a sleeping all day, not doing anything type of thing, but really good, just condensed, good sleep, quality sleep at night, it makes a huge difference. Did I block negative and destructive thoughts? That's a really important one. Self-talk is a huge thing for everybody. And if we do start giving ourselves that negative self-talk, those not so nice things, I do it to myself a lot, actually, especially when I look in the mirror and I see all the flaws and I'm like, oh, that's like that and that's like that. You know, start to switch it around. For every, like when I looked in the mirror, for every time I said to myself, oh, I don't like something, I thought to myself, okay, well now I have to find two things I like. So that actually quickly stopped me like doing the something I don't like, because I didn't like finding two things I liked as well. So try to counterbalance your negative self-talk. Did I drink enough water with no other harmful fluids? That's an interesting one. I guess that means alcohol, sugary drinks, that type of thing. Prioritize water over those. Did I take a break and focus on my breathing? I have the Breathe app on my watch, which tells me like when to breathe and stuff like that, which is cool. Megan says that she also loves the Calm app sleep meditations and sleep stories. Deborah says it's been useful. I need to drop as I have an appointment. Okay, Deborah, take care. And Amanda says Calm has really helped her this year. Okay, two more questions. Did I get some sunlight and fresh air? And did I give myself or others sincere compliments? There are a few more questions, but I've gone so much over that I won't put them anymore, but I will put them inside the members area. So definitely get out there and get sunlight and fresh air. That is a big, big importance. And it's always good if you have a dog, you can take the dogs out. And did I give myself others sincere compliments? And I want to end it there because that's a really important one. So think of something at the end of this call. I want you to go in front of the mirror and give yourself a compliment of some kind, whether it's relating to something that you've done for someone or something that you are or something like that. Please go ahead and do that. And do that every day if you can. Hannah says, thank you, really thought-provoking call. Also love watching your cat relaxing, washing in front of a cushion with the bird. Yes. She calms me down a lot. Okay, it was lovely to see you guys. I want to wish you a very, very happy new year. Don't forget, I'll post all these questions and more with the replay, and do take the time to sit there and reflect on them and think about them, because they are so important. And start 2021 as you mean to go on, positive and refreshed and ready to do something good with your life. It's so important that we keep that mindset, no matter how tough things are, no matter how we feel like we're being dragged down on a daily basis, we can pull ourselves back up and out. Feliz Año Nuevo. Happy New Year, everyone. Happy New Year. Can't wait to see you. Oh, Susan says, thanks, Michelle. You rock. Thank you so much. Look forward to seeing you next year. For those of you who are on my coaching program, we're looking forward to getting started on January 6th with that. For the rest of you, if you have any questions or you need any help whatsoever, please don't hesitate to contact me on support@virtualmissfriday.com. Myself or my team will always be there to help. So thank you so much, guys. Have a good one. Happy New Year. Bye.